The UK left the EU political structures and the European Parliament on January 31st in 2020. I talk a lot about this on my Brexit channel. But the EU, of course, moved forward after Brexit. But what happens in the EU today without Great Britain? So, one topic I have for you in this video. The European Commission has approved, under the EU merger regulation, the proposed acquisition of the Thales ground transportation business by Hitachi Rail. The approval is conditional on full compliance with commitments offered by Hitachi Rail. Hitachi Rail and Thales GTS are leading suppliers of rail mainline signaling services in the European Economic Area, or EEA. Both supply interlockings and automated train protection wayside systems for overlay and resignaling, and Hitachi Rail also manufactures and supplies rolling stock for mainline and urban trains. The Commission's investigation showed that the transaction, as initially notified, would have reduced competition and led to higher prices and less innovation in the markets for rail's mainline signaling projects in France, that includes interlockings, overlay and resignaling projects, and Germany, that includes overlay and resignaling projects. On these markets, the transaction would have combined two close competitors, and the merged entity would have acquired very high market shares. To address the Commission's preliminary competition concerns, Hitachi Rail offered to divest its mainline signaling platforms in France and Germany for interlockings, overlay and resignaling projects. These commitments fully address the competition concerns identified by the Commission. They will preserve competition by removing the horizontal overlap between the parties in the French and German markets for interlockings and automated train protection wayside systems for mainline signaling platforms. All this tech stuff is new to me as well. The commitments come after constructive discussions between the Commission and the parties that resulted in a successful proposal to divest Hitachi Rail's standalone business in France and Germany, including international locations. Structural divestitures eliminate concerns that arise when the merging companies are close competitors, because they immediately replace the competition that would have been lost as a result of the merger. The commitments will enable a purchaser to run the divestment business as a viable competitive force in the market on a lasting basis. And the Commission will closely monitor the divestment process, including the choice of any suitable purchaser for the divested businesses that will have to be approved by the Commission. Following the positive feedback received in the context of the commitments market test, the Commission concluded that the transaction, as modified by the commitments, would no longer raise competition concerns. The decision is, of course, conditional upon full compliance with the commitments. The UK's Competition Markets Authority, the CMA, has also reviewed the transaction. In order to address CMA's concerns, Hitachi Rail also committed to divest its mainline signaling business in the UK. Hitachi Rail is a wholly owned subsidiary of Hitachi Limited, headquartered in Japan, and a global provider of transport solutions, including rolling stock, signaling systems, turnkey solutions, maintenance services, and components. And Thales GTS, headquartered in France, offers various solutions across 4 core business lines. The first is mainline signaling, the second is urban rail signaling, the third is integrated communication and supervision solutions, and the fourth is revenue collection systems. Interlockings ensure the safe passage of trains by controlling and preventing access to sections of the tracks to avoid collisions. And automated train protection wayside systems reduce the risk of train drivers failing to respond to signaling commands. This transaction was first notified to the Commission on October 4th in 2022, but the parties withdrew their notification on November 3rd in 2022 in view of the competition concerns identified by the Commission. The parties re-notified the transaction to the Commission on September 14th in 2023. The Commission has the duty to assess mergers and acquisitions involving companies with a turnover above certain thresholds and to prevent concentrations that would significantly impede effective competition in the EEA or any substantial part of it. The vast majority of notified mergers do not pose competition problems and are cleared often after a routine review. From the moment a transaction is notified, the Commission generally has a total of 25 working days to decide whether to grant approval with Phase 1 or to start an in-depth investigation that's called Phase 2. If commitments are proposed in Phase 1, the Commission has 10 additional working days, bringing the total duration of a Phase 1 case to 35 working days, such as in this case. And if you want to know more, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.